Thank you guys very much for keeping that applause going almost till I got all the way up here. That's pretty close. Not too bad. All right. Let's see. It's good to be out here in groups like this again. I like being out here. I have a friend that's got a superpower, but his superpower only works when he's in a group of people like this. He can look at any group of people and immediately tell you the percentage of prostitutes to non-prostitutes. His name is Horatio. Horatio. Thank you. You guys might be seeing the smartest comedian that's ever been right now. What a treat this is for you guys. Okay. So my family just had an intervention for me not that long ago. Yeah, it's not for the reason you think, though. Let me explain. This is going to sound crazy. I collect finger foods and appetizers and stuff, and I don't throw any of them away. My house is full of finger foods and appetizers. And my family had intervention for me because they said I'm what's called a hors d'oeuvre. A hors d'oeuvre. Do you understand the confidence it takes to know I'm going to say that and still walk up here in front of everybody and do that shit? Nobody else has that kind of confidence. Thank you. Do you know the kind of charisma it takes to guilt an audience into an applause break? Okay. Round of applause. Anybody here have strict parents growing up? Anybody have real strict parents? Yeah, that's why we're in a garage now. Okay. I had strict parents growing up. One day, my dad came home early, and he caught me smoking. So he did what a lot of parents do. He went to the store, he bought a pack of cigarettes, and made me smoke the whole pack. So the next week, I knew he was going to come home early. I made sure he caught me having sex. Smart guy who didn't want that. You guys, round of applause. Who has a father here? Anybody have a father? Round of applause. Anybody? Or ever had one? Anybody ever had a father at any point? Fewer people? Okay. Weird. I have a dad. I got my dad a gift, and I thought it was pretty good. I got my dad a mug that says #1 Dad. I thought that was pretty good. But some of my friends told me it was a stupid gift because it doesn't really mean anything, is what they said. But I was adopted by gay parents. #1 Dad means something in my house. You got a mom and a dad, that's a participation trophy. You got 2 dads, that's a title belt. Let's see. I'm in a fight with my friend right now. You guys tell me who's right and who's wrong here. I'm in a fight with my friend. He's mad at me because his wife yelled out my name during sex. And he's mad at me about that, right? Like, if anything, that's his fault for listening in. Get out of here, pervert. I'm trying to do something. That's a joke. I feel like that joke makes me sound like I'm good at sex. I'm not very good at sex. Off the wrong vibe here. I almost never ejaculate during sex. I almost always ejaculate early. Does anybody else? I don't like watching internet porn because internet porn is supposed to be the best sex havers in the world. And I'm like, I could get that done in a tenth of the time. Like, what are they wasting so much time? I could be having a sandwich at this point. One of my friends was like, hey, you shouldn't watch internet porn because you got to remember that's somebody's daughter up there. That's somebody's daughter. I was like, yeah, it's that guy's stepdaughter. I'm following along on the plot. It's like I'm struggling. I've seen the beginning of a lot of these. I've never seen the end, but I've seen the beginning of it. Let's see. I'm in a rock band. I don't know if anybody here is in music. I'm in a cover band. We play like 70s funk songs, but we've changed all the lyrics to be about how we hate children. We're called Casey Anthony and the Sunshine Band. No other comedian would attempt to do a crossover pun between a news story from 15 years ago and a rock band from 40 years ago. Nobody else would even try that. I'm up here got close. Round of applause. How many people here have ever been in a suicide death cult? Anybody ever been part of like a mass suicide cult? One guy didn't have follow through. I was thinking about this. I think if I was part of like a mass suicide cult, I would try to be the funny guy. That would be the right? Like I feel like if I had been at Jonestown, after everybody drank the cyanide, what I would have done is smashed a hole in the wall the shape of the Kool-Aid Man. The cops get there, they're like, what the hell happened? Hang on. I know exactly who's responsible for this. An important joke. I'm going to do a quick impression for you. This is my impression, the only impression I do, I promise. The impression of the Kool-Aid Man showing up to a softball game. Getting ready. This is the Kool-Aid Man showing up to a softball game. What position does everybody play? I'm a pitcher. A pitcher. He's a highbrow material thing. You guys explained it to her, so that's good. That's why I leave the time, in case you guys have to explain it. I leave, now we're good. Let's see, I experimented a little bit with sex and drugs when I was in college. I don't know if you guys experimented with sex and drugs. I was part of the control group. Just like making sure there's no placebo effect or anything. I'm married. I don't know about you. I'm married. My wife and I were trying something we think is romantic. We've decided to save ourselves for our second marriage. Here's a test I've come up with you guys can use on your friends. It's a test to see how healthy a relationship is. And here's what you do. You ask one of the people in the relationship, what would you do without your spouse? And the faster they answer, the more unhealthy that relationship is. Right? Like you ask a newlywed couple, what would you do without your wife? I don't know. I can't even picture my life without her. I don't know what I would do. But you ask somebody that's been in a bad marriage for 5 years, they've got an answer ready to go immediately. What would you do without your wife? Well, I'd sell the house. I've been looking at some places on Zillow I think I could afford. Next thing I'd do is I'd fight for custody of her dog and I'd have it put down. Let's see. I tell you guys about my favorite word in the English language. My favorite word in the English language is the word gay. I'm going to explain why. Because nowadays gay means homosexual, but it hasn't always meant that. Right? It used to mean very happy, joyous, which means there was a point in time where we figured out there was a group of men out there who could live completely without women, and the only word we could think of to describe them so gay. Are you kidding me? No women? Oh my God, that must be gay. That's why we say gay and lesbian, right? Because gay means happy, and lesbian is Spanish for not as good. How was your day? I was hanging out with guys. It was muy bien. What about you? Hanging out with women. It was lesbian. One punchline, two languages. Nobody else is trying that. Nobody else is doing that kind of stuff. All right, I've got some charts here that are gonna. Does everybody here have like a basic statistics class, introduction to basic math? So that's gonna help a little bit. Just all right. So this first one, this is a graph of the tanness of a person's skin versus the chances that person is named Tanner. This up here, this is like an Indian. I'm not gonna be named Tanner. This is like a lacrosse player, very pale, but almost certainly gonna be named Tanner. This is sort of a similar kind of thing. This is a Venn diagram of people named Chad versus people that live in the country Chad. A lot of overlap. This is a Venn diagram of names for dolphin porn stars and names for poets. And the overlap here is E.E. Cummings. E.E. Cummings would be a pretty good name for like a dolphin porn star. Right. This is the number of times you've ever thought about poet E.E. Cummings having sex with a dolphin. It was 0, and then this is tonight's show. And I pray for you that it stays that way. It doesn't become a curse on your life. This is kind of a little controversial. I got a couple of these. That's and I don't really have a joke for these, but they still became visual aids. Turned into visual aids. This is milk fat percentages. You can get skim, 1%, 2%, and then something happened. Somebody's like, I'm sick of this. We'll do half and half, but that's it. We can't get like 32%. I'm not making all the percents. I'll do 1, 2. Now, this is types of faces you can wear and how offensive they are. Most offensive is blackface. You don't want to wear blackface. And this is a North Face jacket. You can cop that on. Nobody's going to be mad if you wear a North Face jacket. This is genres of Western movies and types of pasta. They make spaghetti westerns, but that's about it. Like, you guys want to come over and watch a ziti western tonight? No. This is professional tennis players named Steffi over time. There's really only been one professional tennis player named Steffi. So this is like a Steffi graph. This guy. I like to mix a couple of those in because it would be exhausting if they were all really good. So this one's a little math heavy, so you guys are going to have to keep up. This is girls I've dated and how crazy the reason we broke up was. This is just like we lived too far apart, it wasn't reasonable. This is like her cat didn't like me very much. Right? What's interesting about this graph is on the y-axis we have my exes, and on the x-axis we have why we broke up. That's fun. This is our last one here. This is a number of REM fans in the world and the number of people losing their religion at any given time. That's me in the corner. Me in the spotlight. Losing our religion. All right, guys, thank you very much. That's my time. Have a good night.